There are cases that fade quietly into the background, until one unexpected discovery brings them back into sharp focus. And in the Colonial Parkway Murders, a breakthrough nearly 40 years later reopened questions investigators once thought would remain unanswered. What changed after all this time? And why does this case still unsettle so many who lived through it? The story begins in the late 1980s, along a quiet stretch of road between Yorktown and Jamestown. It was a place known for calm views and long, empty drives. A place where people lowered their guard because nothing unusual was supposed to happen. But the peace of the area masked something deeper, something no one expected. Investigators noticed early on that several incidents didn't fit the idea of isolated events. The locations were similar. The timelines overlapped in subtle ways. And missing pieces from one case echoed another, even though the victims shared no connection. These early contradictions pushed detectives to look closer. At the time, suggesting one person was responsible felt more like speculation than evidence. Investigators didn't want to force a pattern that wasn't there. But small clues created a quiet sense of psychological tension. Someone seemed to understand the area well, perhaps too well. Someone who knew how to move unnoticed. Eventually, the investigation stalled. For decades, nothing changed. No arrests, no confirmed suspect, and families waited for answers that never came. Then new forensic technology offered something the case never had before. Older evidence was re-examined using modern DNA testing. For the first time, investigators obtained a viable profile. It didn't name a suspect, but it strengthened the case in a way earlier tools couldn't. It shifted the investigation into new territory. When the DNA findings were analyzed, they reshaped the psychological understanding of the person involved. The emerging profile didn't match early assumptions. It didn't align with theories repeated over the years. And it didn't fit the behavioral model investigators once relied on. It revealed a type of individual many had overlooked. The findings pointed to someone steady on the surface. Someone who blended easily into daily life without drawing attention. A person who observed routines and noticed vulnerabilities long before others realized. Their choices suggested careful planning, not impulse. This changed how investigators interpreted the earlier events. The new understanding suggested someone capable of maintaining emotional distance, not only from others but from their own actions. Someone who compartmentalized and kept their inner world hidden. Someone who knew how to appear ordinary in familiar places. This emotional separation became a key part of the evolving profile. With the new DNA profile, investigators revisited the original evidence. Timelines were examined again with modern tools. Witness statements were reconsidered through a different lens, and earlier interpretations were challenged by what technology revealed. It became clear the case was far more complex than once believed. But even with new information, some details refused to align. There were unexplained movements within the timelines, vehicles positioned in ways that still raised questions. Small inconsistencies hinted at missing variables investigators never fully identified. The breakthrough answered some questions and opened new ones. The Colonial Parkway Murders remain significant because they show the limits of early investigative psychology. They reveal how understanding evolves as technology advances. And even with the DNA link, something about the case feels incomplete. Maybe the truth lies somewhere between old assumptions and new evidence. Or maybe it remains locked within the mind of someone who moved quietly through a familiar landscape.